Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends retro carded Hercules figure, which is definitely a brand new release and not from a long time ago that I just didn't get around to reviewing until now. This figure does a few things that most Marvel Legends don't do, and they're good things, very good things, and then it does do a few things that Marvel Legends tend to always do, and they're not good things. So unless you're just buying this outright because you want this version of Hercules, this review is going to be helpful for you because I'm going to show you all of the good and the bad, and you can make your buying decision based on that. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just shy of 18 centimeters. He's got a little bit of height to him. That's going to make him pretty close to 7 inches. It's closer to like 6 and 7/8 probably. But he's got some size to him. That's pretty good. And before we get into it, I want to do a quick question of the day. Are you guys a fan of these types of characters like Hercules, Ares, I don't know, all of the mythic type characters that exist outside of comic books? Are you guys okay with those being in comics, or would you rather them not be in the comics? For me, the only one I'm really okay with is Thor. All the other ones I could really do without, frankly, but you guys let me know how you feel. Okay, something about the Norse gods being in comics, I think that makes sense, more sense, because of the way they wrote them in rather than just whatever. Okay, so this figure does a lot of things really well. One of those things is the sculpt of the musculature. It's much better than most figures. His chest actually has some chest to it, some thickness. His arms have that proper taper, big shoulders, big biceps. You know, it comes down to a triangle basically. His biceps are really big, but that's fine with me. I'd take that over small. There's some girth to the tricep in the back. That's nice. The musculature is so much better than most figures. Even the quads. He has bigger quads than skinnier legs, or skinnier lower legs. They taper at the knee and the ankle. His proportioning is generally really, really good. There's not a whole lot that needs to be changed on this guy. I'm not even going to bother photoshopping it because it's perfectly fine as is. It has the right general look to it. I'm very, very okay with that. I don't understand why we don't get more figures that look like this. Like, it's not hard. They've done it. Very strange. So the one thing that does look a little less good about this guy is that he's very plasticky, especially in the legs where there's none of the hair paint going on. There's no shading or anything, and they're kind of shiny. He does look plasticky. You could get away with it. I think it's okay because there's enough going on otherwise, but that is a thing. Like, if they were all matte finish, they would instantly bump up a point in the aesthetic because the matte finish makes them look so much better. I think, as far as the hair paint goes, if you're going to do hair, this is the way to do it. Not Wolverine's whatever they've done, where they've like sculpted it on but didn't paint it and that kind of stuff. On the modern Wolverine figures, this looks way better. This is how you want to do it if you're going to do it. The chest hair, the arm hair, it looks so much better this way. I don't have a problem with it. The belt is painted nicely. The head is painted nice enough. I mean, it's not like super detailed or anything. It's fairly toyish, but it looks good. There's no shading in the hair, but the sculpt is good. Face is very shiny, but the eyes are good. The mouth is good. The beard is good. No real complaints. It looks nice overall. As far as the aesthetics go, there's only one other thing I want to talk about, and that's the shoulder design. And it's good and bad. They did it this way to give his shoulders a very natural look. However, they stuck that natural look on the side of a big ball. So if you look at the top here, you can see how you have the shoulder, and then you have a big smooth sphere. Same thing down here, it's obvious. Let's see if I can put it in the frame. So you just get the big sphere with a sculpted shoulder added on to it. You don't really have to do it that way. Not really, you don't have to do it that way at all. It looks good really only in the completely neutral pose. And you can get away with doing it by just sculpting the entire shoulder that way. I've showed you guys lots of figures that have good shoulders. So the problem with this is when you raise it up, you just get that sphere. Some people say it looks like the lats. Yeah, kind of, but also it doesn't. So for me, I don't like it. And I don't like that you only have that much range because of it. Because the sphere is the range of motion. This added on to the side, this meaty part over here, that's what's limiting the range. So you have very limited range for a sculpt that still looks pretty weird. So I don't care for it. You guys can tell me how you feel about it. I don't think it needs to be that way. I mean, it doesn't need to be that way, and I don't think it should be that way. But you guys can tell me how you feel. I guess last thing I want to mention is they did paint the skin where his boot thingies are not boot thingies, like his toes and heel and right here. And it could be better, but it matches well enough, and I think that's okay. So, yeah, generally this is a pretty aesthetically pleasing figure. I'm not gonna make any jokes there. I'm gonna give it for Marvel Legends, I'll go 8. If it wasn't so glossy, I would go 9, but there's a lot of shiny stuff, including his face, which doesn't look great, but the sculpt is wonderful. Love the sculpt. Now, as far as accessories go, we get the normal head that's on him in the package. It's a little bit smiley. Then we get the angry one. They're both done very nicely. We get the grippy hands that come on him in the package. Then we get 2 fist hands. Those are done nicely. And then we get his golden mace, which looks very cheap, but it's okay. Has a little bit of paint on it, so that's fine. Yeah, I don't think we really need anything else, so I'm okay with that. I'll go 7. I'll go 8 for Marvel Legends, an alternate head, hands, and an accessory. That seems okay to me. I'll note, though, both of his wrists are the wrong kind of wrists. They have the horizontal hinge rather than the vertical hinge, so that's going to suck for posing with the mace. Now, as far as articulation goes, we are on the disc hinge. He looks up nicely. The head is not seated too high. There's no giant gap there, and you have good range, so you see it can be done. Full rotation, a little bit of attitude, very nice. Now, we talked about the shoulders. We do have limited range there, but going around this way, it's no problem. Your bicep swivel's fine. The double jointed elbow is pretty limited because they made his bicep stick out so much. Generally, you want to bring this down just a little bit so that his bicep isn't huge all the way down. If you bring it down, like kind of taper it down towards the elbow, you'll get better range out of that. There's just no way to get good range out of this elbow because of how much meat there is there and the gauntlets. So count on 90 degrees. Obviously, the wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Ab crunch on this guy, it works well enough. He gets super pregnant, and there's a giant gap though, so that blows. Leans forward nicely, no problem there. Huge gap. Waist twist is a waist twist, belt is a floaty belt, so that is fine. I don't get why they don't use this particular mold more. Like, this would be good for Venom even if they wanted to do Venom. Why? Why did Venom go on, isn't he on the Omega Red body on that exclusive figure that I can't get to review? I don't understand it. This would be good for a slender Venom. Or any of the larger characters that don't get this body, which is better than most of the other bodies. What's going on? That's weird. Alright, so the hips, let's see how the hips work. Maybe I won't like it if we keep going. Hips are not great. They're just about 45 degrees. They definitely could be better. There's no reason they aren't. You can never justify hips not going out to the side when there's nothing blocking them, because that just means they didn't engineer it properly. If you move that peg over just a little bit, you'll get all the range you need, so that's not good. Kicking forward, a little bit limited. Could be a lot better. These are pinless legs too, which means they're brand new at the time, and they could have made them however they wanted. They do go back a little bit, that's okay. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee is fine. Boot swivel, no problems there. Ankles go all the way back and all the way forward, and you get a decent ankle rocker. This guy works. His ab crunch is a little weird, his shoulders are a little limited, but all in all, this is a strong release. I couldn't care less about Hercules as a character, especially this look for him. I don't need Speedo Man on my shelf, but I mean, this is, as far as Marvel Legends go, if they were all, the average ones were all like this, and then there were good ones above that, that'd be awesome. This is what they should be for like a standard run-of-the-mill release. This one's really nice. I don't think I rated the articulation yet. I'll give it an 8. 8 seems good. We do have some limitations, but mostly it works nicely and it looks pretty good doing so. Alright, so final verdict on this release for Marvel Legends, and this one came out at the $20 price point before they hiked everything up. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. It's a strong release. If you have any interest in getting it, or just need a good blank body, which this mostly is, this is the one for you. This is easily one of Hasbro's better performances that wasn't like just crazy in terms of like adding all kinds of crap to it, making it super good, like the movie Deadpool kinda, but that doesn't even count. So yeah, this is one of their best comic releases ever from Hasbro, and it's a shame it's on Hercules, but maybe you guys like Hercules and you can talk about that in the comment section below, but it's a good one. It's a real good one. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.